In the beginning, God created the heavens and He created the earth. He created every living thing upon the earth. Thousands of years later, along comes myself, Ed Waters, and I created FreeCircle so I could bring you the fireside. We want to bring you truth with integrity, insight that's right, and stories that matter the most today. So climb on in, buckle up, let's take a ride on the fireside. Avoiding the crash or the clash? Which is it going to be? Because at this point in time, it looks like there's going to be one or the other. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the crashing of society or the clash of the titans. There's a lot going on in the world. You've got a lot of forces that are playing funny games. You've got people in high places positioning. I'm telling you, we have to avoid what's coming, or else we're going to plunge so deep into darkness that it's going to be kind of impossible to pull ourselves out for generations. Where are we? What are we looking at? It's important that we look at this and identify what's going on in the world today. You've got power structuring going on in the world. The South China Sea. You've got individuals over there militarizing. It's happening along the NATO front in Europe. We've spent many years demilitarizing. And here we are. We're right back in the midst of all the same troubles, all the same toils that we've been through several times. And yet nobody wants to slow down and recognize where we are. Are we going to avoid the crash or the clash? One or the other must happen now. Society is shaky right now. In the Western world, we see disharmony, revolution, revolting going on all over the place. This morning, I was watching some YouTube videos. There was an individual talking about first responders, such as police officers and paramedics, and he was talking about no-go zones. We're not going in. We don't care anymore. So they're going to turn that area over to itself. That's biblical, you know. I don't know. We're in this place that we must proceed with caution, folks. There's heartache, hardship that must come before we straighten this out. And if people are not willing to give a little, it's going to go the other way. Clash of the Titans. And then we're going to look at some horrendous things that can happen. Let's start talking, people. Let's start understanding our differences. Let's identify them as benefits instead of degradations. Difference is what made America. Just because somebody is different does not make them an enemy. We are allowing financial means to come into our minds because we want a bigger car. Oh, maybe a second boat or a third jet ski. You're letting the pleasures and financial pleasures go to your head. You've got babies starving in the street. You've got people homeless, and you're worried about a jet ski and your happiness instead of being right. You'd better look at who and what you are. How did you accumulate your wealth? And what are you buying with it? Look at the men and women that put their lives on the line to make it possible for America. And yet here we are distorting it. Life can only come from a man and a woman. Period. You're going to take an egg from a woman and sperm from a man, and that's what makes human life. It's the only combination. Male, female. We were put here to create life, to subdue the earth. What are you people doing? What are you fighting over? You're killing humanity itself. Do you feel good about it? Think about somebody besides yourself. It's getting kind of funny out there, folks. How long are we going to put up with this? Each and every one of us, we are responsible for our own actions. We have to own up to what we are doing. Got to show a little bit of compassion and understanding. We've got to look at where people have been and what they've been through before we start ridiculing them. The world's funny. We got to straighten things out. There is coming either a crash or a clash. The clash, it's going to plummet the world back into darkness like it's never seen before. A crash, well, I think we can get through that if we pull together. I'd rather see a crash than a clash. I don't know, what about you? We've got a lot of people out there hurt, hungry, cold, and confused. We have to really look at where we are and where we're going. Are we going to have a crash or a clash? Well, that's it for another Free Circle Fireside. Thank you for joining us. You can find us on the web at freecircle.website. You can join in on the live shows or leave a message and we'll get your voice out over the message. The call-in line is 971-533-7805. Join Free Circle, get your voice out, and thank you for joining the fireside. Ed, Free Circle, out.